Cha everybody, NZ Blazing here, back with another squad builder video. As this time around I've got Morant from the Memphis Grizzlies at a 99 overall with 65 badges alongside Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams, Dylan Brooks, Tyus Jones, Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman, John Concha, Zari Williams, David Roddy, Jake LaRava, Kenny Chandler, Santi Aladama, Kenneth Lofton Jr., and Killian Tilly, and Vince Williams Jr., and that finishes up your Memphis Grizzlies team. So today I'm going to simulate a set NBA season with Ja Morant being 99 overall, and we'll see how far a 99 overall Ja Morant can carry Memphis to. Sorry guys, just got to clear my throat. So we'll get into so I've got it on Hall of Fame, 12-minute quarters, no injuries and no trades. So Ja will be healthy all season, and so will his team. So we'll see how well Ja can do in the simulation at a 99 overall. So we'll simulate from October 19th to November 11th. So we'll start the simulation now. Adjust rotation manually. So we'll give Ja 40 minutes. Give Steven Adams 28. And then who else do I want to bring on? Who do I need to give minutes to? I want Ja to play every minute, so he's going to play the whole 48. I don't care. He's going to play the whole 48. And then I'll give Desmond Bain a rest. And where's my other shooting guard? Who's my other shooting guard off the bench? Power forward, shooting forward, point guard, power forward, shooting forward, shooting guard, shooting forward. Must have to go to Concha. We'll just give the last 5 minutes to Concha to even it out and go back. And now we'll start the simulation from October 19th to November 11th. So we'll start it now. So first up, we get a win against the Knicks, a win against the Rockets, a win against the Mavs, a win against Brooklyn, a win against the Kings, a win against the Jazz, another win against the Jazz, then lose to the Portland Trail Blazers, then get a win over the Hornets, a win over the Washington Wizards, a loss against the Celtics, a win against the Spurs, and then a 9-point loss against Minnesota. So we're 10-3 to start off. So every game, Ja should be playing every minute. So he played 45 minutes. Yep. So 54 points, 19 rebounds, and 19 assists coming from Ja Morant. So a triple-double with 24 coming from Dylan Brooks. 21 points and 11 assists for Jalen Brunson. So he got a double-double. Then the win against the Rockets. 15 points for Jalen Green. Another 50-point game for Ja Morant with 51 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. So a triple-double. 23 points coming from Desmond Bain. 22 points from Jaren Jackson Jr. Then the win against the Mavs. 39 points, 5 rebounds, and 13 assists from Luka Doncic. So a double-double. Christian Wood with 16 points and 10 rebounds. So a double-double. 43 points, 12 rebounds, and 16 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double for him. 26 points for Dylan Brooks and 23 points for Desmond Bain. Move on to the win against the Nets. Ja Morant with 36 points, 19 rebounds, and 12 assists, so a triple-double. 20 points for Jaren Jackson Jr., 21 points for Kyrie Irving, 20 points and 10 rebounds for Kevin Durant, so a double-double. 20 points for Ben Simmons, shooting 10 of 13. And then the win against the Kings, 26 points for Terrence Davis, 20 points for De'Aaron Fox, and 13 for Kevin Herter. 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 18 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. Desmond Bain with 23, Dylan Brooks with 20 points. And then the win against the Jazz, 37 points for Bogdanovich, 24 for Clarkson, and 23 for Sexton. 46 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 18 for Desmond Bain, 18 for Dylan Brooks. Then the back-to-back wins against the Jazz. 23 points for Sexton, 22 points for Bogdanovich. 48 points, 19 rebounds, and 12 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. Desmond Bain with 24 points. Then the loss to Portland. 27 points for Dame Lillard, 27 points for Simon Says, Nurkic with 21, 25 points, 22 rebounds, and 6 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 19 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. and 17 points for Dylan Brooks. Then the win against the Hornets, 51 points, 20 rebounds, and 8 assists for Ja Morant, so another double-double. 20 points for Dylan Brooks and 19 for Brandon Clark. 15 points for Caleb Martin, 13 points for Oubre Jr. And then the win against Washington, 34 points, 18 rebounds, and 21 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 27 points for Dylan Brooks, 16 for Jaren Jackson Jr. Bradley Beal with 23, Kristaps Porzingis with 18. And then the loss to Boston Celtics, 123 to 107. 33 points for Ja Morant with 24 rebounds and 9 assists, so double-double. 24 points for Dylan Brooks, 19 for Desmond Bain, 13 for Jaren Jackson Jr. And then the win against the Spurs, 14 for Vassell and 14 for Richardson and 14 for Roby. 53 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. Dylan Brooks was 16 and Jaren Jackson Jr. was 16. And then the 9-point loss to Minnesota, 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 14 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 15 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bain. 30 points for Anthony Edwards, D'Lo with 24, Kenny Anderson with 16, and Karl Anthony Towns with 10 points. So we move on through November. So we'll simulate the rest of November. So we're 10-3 going into November 13th. So we'll simulate through. Take a win against the Washington Wizards, a win against New Orleans, a win against OKC, a win against the Nets, a win against the Sacramento Kings, a win against New Orleans, and a win against the Knicks, and then lose on the last day of November to Minnesota. So we're 17-4 to finish off November. So we'll check the win against the Washington Wizards. 27 points for Beal, 26 points for Porzingis, and 15 points for Kuzma. 37 points, 19 rebounds, and 15 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 22 for Desmond Bain, 17 for Dylan Brooks. And then the win against New Orleans, 23 for CJ McCollum, 20 for Brandon Ingram, and 20 for Zion. 61 points for Ja Morant with 12 rebounds and 11 assists, so a triple-double. 17 points for Dylan Brooks and 13 for Jaren Jackson Jr. Remember, this is on Hall of Fame. Then the win against OKC, 50 points for Ja Morant with 18 rebounds and 15 assists, so a triple-double. 20 for Desmond Bain and 20 for Dylan Brooks. 18 points and 11 assists for SGA, so a double-double. 18 for Mike Muscala, 18 points for Trey Mann. In the win against Brooklyn, 17 for Kevin Durant, 17 for Ben Simmons, shooting 7 of 11. 16 points for Kyrie Irving, 44 points, 16 rebounds, and 13 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 24 points for Desmond Bain, and 15 points for Dylan Brooks. Move on to the win against the Kings. 31 points for Ja Morant with 18 rebounds and 11 assists, so a triple-double. 21 points for Brandon Clark, 19 for Jaren Jackson Jr., 25 points and 11 rebounds for Sabonis, so a double-double. 22 points for De'Aaron Fox, 11 points for Harrison Barnes. And then the win against New Orleans, 45 points, 19 rebounds, and 13 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 23 points for Jaren Jackson Jr., 17 for Dylan Brooks, and Desmond Bain was 16. 27 points for Brandon Ingram, Jonas Valanciunas with 17, and CJ McCollum with 14. Then the win against the Knicks, 18 for Obi Toppin, 16 for Derrick Rose, 16 for RJ Barrett, 44 points, 15 rebounds, and 14 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 27 points for Desmond Bane, 16 for Dylan Brooks. And then the loss to Minnesota, 39 points for Anthony Edwards, 21 for Jalen Noel, 20 points for Karl Anthony Towns, 46 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja. 21 for Desmond Bane and 18 points for Dylan Brooks. So we move on into December. So we'll simulate from December 2nd to Christmas Day. So we'll simulate through. We'll send player to G League, send that player back to the G League. We take a win against the 76ers, a win against Detroit. We'll keep simulating. Take a win against Miami, take a win against OKC, a win against Detroit, a win against the Hawks, a win against Milwaukee, a win against OKC, a win against Denver. And we'll simulate to Christmas. We get a win against the Suns, and we get a win against Golden State on Christmas Day. So we'll check the win against the Sixers. 45 points, 9 rebounds, and 14 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 18 points for Desmond Bane, 16 points for Jaren Jackson Jr., 28 points for Harden, 28 points for Embiid. Then the win against Detroit, 25 points for Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey with 18, Isaiah Stewart with 16, 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 16 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 25 points for Desmond Bane and 18 for Jaren Jackson Jr. Then the win against Miami, 28 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 21 points for Desmond Bane, 17 for Jaren Jackson Jr., 31 points for Jimmy Butler, 18 for Tyler Hero, and Max Strus with 13. And then the win against OKC, 44 points, 11 rebounds, and 18 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 20 for Dylan Brooks, 18 for Jaren Jackson Jr., 25 for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey with 19, and Lou Dort with 12 points. And then the win against Detroit, 58 points, 18 rebounds, and 8 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 15 points for Dylan Brooks and 13 for Desmond Bane. 24 points for Cade Cunningham, 23 points for Jaden Ivey, and Hamidou Diallo with 13 points. And then the winner against the Atlanta Hawks, 46 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 18 points for Xavier Tillman, 28 points for Trae Young, 22 points for Jonte Murray. And then the win against Giannis's Bucks, 42 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a double-double. 19 for Desmond Bane, 18 for Dylan Brooks. Chris Middleton with 23, Bobby Portis Jr. with 23, Giannis Antetokounmpo with 13 points and 7 rebounds. Then the win against OKC, 21 points for SGA, Poskacheski with 15 points, and Chet Holmgren with 14. 39 points, 12 rebounds, and 16 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. Jaren Jackson Jr. with 27 points, and Dylan Brooks with 22. Then the win against Denver, 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 11 assists for Jokic, so a double-double. 17 points for Bones Highland, 12 points for MPJ, 37 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 26 points for Dylan Brooks. Then the win against the Suns, 26 points for Devin Booker, 20 points for Dario Saric, 17 points for DeAndre Ayton, 14 for Jay Crowder. Chris Paul struggled with 3 points and 11 assists. And then the win against Golden State, 22 points for Steph Curry, 22 points for Wiseman, 22 points for Kuminga, 18 for Jordan Poole, and 8 points for Klay Thompson, but he only shot the ball 3 times. Ja Morant with 38 points, 16 rebounds, and 13 assists, so a triple-double. 25 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane with 22. We'll move on and we'll finish the rest of December. So we'll go to January 1st. So we'll simulate through. Take a win against the Suns, a win against the Raptors, a win against New Orleans, and then start January. Take a win against Sacramento. So we're 32 and 4 going into January with a 99 overall Ja Morant. So 44 points, 18 rebounds, and 13 assists coming from Ja Morant against the Suns. So a triple-double for him. 22 points for Dylan Brooks and 18 for Desmond Bane. 25 points for Devin Booker. 15 points for DeAndre Ayton. Dario Saric with 14. Mikal Bridges with 11. Chris Paul with 9 points. Then the win against the Raptors. 23 points for Precious Achiuwa, 16 points for Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby with 12 points, Fred VanVleet with 9 points, Scotty Barnes with 6, 29 points for Dylan Brooks, 26 points, 20 rebounds, and 12 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double, 19 points for Desmond Bane, then the win against New Orleans, 31 points, 23 rebounds, and 21 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 31 points from Dylan Brooks and 24 points from Desmond Bane. 21 points for Zion, 20 for CJ McCollum, and 20 points for Jonas Valanciunas. Then the win against the Kings, 48 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 20 points from Desmond Bane, 17 points from Dylan Brooks, so another triple-double for Ja. And then we didn't check the Kings score. 18 points for Harrison Barnes, 18 points for Keegan Murray, 17 points for Malik Monk, and Davion Mitchell with 15, and De'Aaron Fox with 12. So now we'll simulate from January 4th to January 20th against the Lakers. So we'll simulate through. We'll re-simulate again. We take a win against the Hornets, a win against the Magic, a win against the Jazz, back-to-back wins against the Spurs, a win against the Pacers, then lose to the Suns by 2 points, and then win against the Cavs, win against the Lakers. We'll simulate through to January 22nd, and we'll get the win against the Phoenix Suns. So now we'll go back and check the game against the Hornets. So we get the win against the Hornets. 19 points for LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier with 15, Kelly Oubre Jr. with 15, Ja Morant with 42 points, 16 rebounds, and 12 assists, so a triple-double. 31 points coming from Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks with 18. And then the win against the Magic, Paolo with 24 points, Jonathan Isaac with 10, Franz Wagner with 9. 57 points, 21 rebounds, and 11 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 23 points for Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane with 14. And then we got the win against the Jazz. 41 points, 20 rebounds, and 17 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 31 points from Dylan Brooks, but he fouled out. 21 points for Desmond Bane. 19 points for Mike Conley, 18 points for Marketing, 17 points for Jordan Clarkson, and 10 points from Colin Sexton, and THT didn't even play. And then the win against the Spurs, 49 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 36 points from Jaren Jackson Jr., but he fouled out. 10 points for Dylan Brooks, 24 points for Isaiah Roby, 18 points for Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell with 11 points. Then we got back-to-back wins against the Spurs. 36 points, 20 rebounds, and 15 assists for Ja, so another triple-double. 21 points for Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr. with 19, and Dylan Brooks with 15. Devin Vassell with 28 points, Doug McDermott with 19. And then the win against the Pacers, 22 points for Jalen Smith, 16 points for Chris Duarte, and 15 for Buddy Hield. 43 points, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists from Ja Morant, so a double-double. 19 points for Desmond Bane and 16 for Dylan Brooks. Then the 2-point loss to the Suns. 46 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 24 points for Desmond Bane, 21 for Dylan Brooks. 23 points for DeAndre Ayton, 18 for Devin Booker. And then the win against the Cavs, 55 points, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 33 for Dylan Brooks, 18 for Jaren Jackson Jr., 28 points for Donovan Mitchell. Jared Allen was 16. Then the 5-point win against the Lakers, 25 points for Davis, 23 points for LeBron James, Kendrick Nunn with 15, Thomas Bryant with 13, Lonnie Walker with 12, and Westbrook with 10, and Reeves with 10. 33 points, 19 rebounds, and 14 assists coming from Ja Morant, so it's a triple-double. 22 points for Desmond Bane, 20 points for Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr. with 18 points, and then a win against the Suns. 22 points for Booker, 19 for Crowder, Dario Saric with 14, 47 points and 24 rebounds and 8 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 24 points for Dylan Brooks, and 15 points for Xavier Tillman. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. with 13. So we'll move on and simulate the rest of January. So we'll go from January 23rd to February 12th. So we'll simulate through. Take a loss to the Kings, then a win against Golden State, a win against Minnesota, take a loss to the Pacers, and then so starting February, we'll go to just before All-Star. So we're 43-7 going into February, so we'll simulate through. Take a win against Portland, a win against the Cavs, a win against Toronto, a win against Chicago, a win against Minnesota, then take a 2-point loss to the Celtics, and then we get the loss against Utah. So we're 48-9 going into All-Star weekend. So we'll check we'll check from January 23rd against the Kings. So take the loss to the Kings. Terrence Davis with 29, Keegan Murray 23, Donovan Mitchell with 21. 40 points, 13 rebounds, and 8 assists coming from Ja, so double-double. 23 for Jaren Jackson Jr. and 20 points for Desmond Bane as the Grizzlies lost by 4, and then get their revenge against Golden State and come out with the win. 27 points for Steph Curry, 16 for Clay, 14 for Kuminga, 12 points for Wiggins, and 12 points for Poole. 39 points, 27 rebounds, and 14 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 27 points for Jaren Jackson Jr., 15 for Dylan Brooks. Then the win against Minnesota, 27 for Jalen Noel, 21 for Karl Anthony Towns, and 20 points for Anthony Edwards to go with D'Lo with 12 points. 39 points, 19 rebounds, and 9 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a double-double. 28 points for Desmond Bane, 19 points for Dylan Brooks. And then the loss to the Pacers, 51 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists coming from Ja, so a double-double. 21 for Jaren Jackson Jr., 16 for Desmond Bane. 23 points for Halliburton, 23 points for Buddy Hield, and 22 points for Miles Turner. And then the win against Portland to start off Feb, 35 points, 16 rebounds, and 12 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 25 points for Desmond Bane, 21 for Jaren Jackson Jr., Dame Lillard with 22 points. And then the win against the Cavs, 29 points for Donovan Mitchell, 22 for Darius Garland, 51 points, 18 rebounds, and 18 assists for Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 26 points for Desmond Bane, and Steven Adams with 16 points. And then the win against the Raptors, plus the All-Star draft, pardon me, man. Got the cough, man, trying to get rid of it. Gotta clear the throat. Gonna have a quick drink, actually. So we'll quickly have a quick drink before I name the teams for the All-Star. So it's going to be Team Ja Morant against Team Giannis. So we've got captain of Ja Morant, LeBron James, Harden, Jokic, Tatum, Anthony Davis, Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Levine, and Bam. against Giannis, Kevin Durant, Kawhi, Luka, Trae Young, Steph Curry, Dame Lillard, Kyrie, Paul George, Anthony Towns, DeMar DeRozan, and Zion. So we'll move on, and then we'll check the actual box score for the game against the Raptors. 35 points, 14 rebounds, and 15 assists for Ja, so he got back another triple-double. Dillon Brooks with 20, 30 points for Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes with 23. Then the win against the Bulls, 45 points, 18 rebounds, and 18 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 33 points for Desmond Bane, 29 points for Zach LaVine, 18 points for Drummond with 11 rebounds, so a double-double. Then the win against Minnesota, 52 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 21 points for Desmond Bane, 18 points for Dillon Brooks, 18 points for D'Angelo Russell, 14 points and 11 rebounds for Karl Anthony Towns, so he got a double-double. Then the 2-point loss against the Celtics, Jaylen Brown with 27, Tatum with 22, Brogdon with 21, 25 points for Desmond Bane, 25 points for Jaren Jackson Jr., 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 13 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 22 points for Dillon Brooks. And then the loss to the Jazz, 37 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja, so a triple-double. 14 for Desmond Bane, 14 for Jaren Jackson Jr., 20 points for Colin Sexton, Malik Beasley with 17, Bogdanovich with 15, and we'll simulate over the All-Star game, so we'll go finish to February 28th. So we take the loss to the 76ers, a win against Denver, and then a win against the Los Angeles Lakers to finish off February. So we'll check the results of the Rising Stars game. USA won against Team World, Cunningham top scored, and Kuminga top scored. And then the All-Star game, Team Giannis lost to Team Ja. So 21 points for Giannis, 26 points for Devin Booker, 20 for Tatum. Ja Morant with 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. And then the loss to the 76ers after the All-Star break, 46 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists for Embiid, 26 points and 12 assists for Harden, so a double-double, 17 points and 10 assists for Tyrese Maxey, so a double-double, 59 points, 17 rebounds, and 8 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double, 26 points for Desmond Bane, and 19 for Jaren Jackson Jr., and then the dub against Denver, 62 points for Ja Morant, 16 rebounds and 12 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double, and that's his highest points per game points this season. 19 for Desmond Bane and 17 for Dillon Brooks. 22 points and 11 rebounds for Jokic, so a double-double. Jamal Murray with 19 and Bones Highland with 16. And then the win against the Lakers, 37 points, 26 rebounds, and 10 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 33 points for Desmond Bane, 19 points and 12 rebounds for Davis, so a double-double. 12 points for LeBron, 12 points for Westbrook, but LeBron only shot the ball 9 times. So going into March with 50 and 10. So we'll simulate from March 1st to March 26th. So we'll simulate through. We'll re-simulate again. So we take a win against the Rockets, a win against Denver, a win against the Clippers, a win against the Lakers, a win against Golden State, back-to-back wins against the Mavs. Keep simulating. Take the win against Miami, lose to the Spurs, take a win against Golden State, lose to the Mavs, win against the Rockets, lose to the Rockets, and then take a win against the Atlanta Hawks on March 26th. So we'll check the game for the Rockets game. So we get the win against the Rockets, 16 points for Seagun and 16 points for Jalen Green, 61 points, 22 rebounds, and 7 assists from Ja Morant, so a double-double. Desmond Bane with 17 and Brooks with 14. Then the win against Denver, 31 points and 10 rebounds for Jokic, so a double-double. 18 points for KCP, 47 points, 21 rebounds, and 9 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 20 points for Dylan Brooks, 15 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. Then the win against the Clippers, 30 points for Paul George, 20 points for Kawhi Leonard, 17 points for John Wall, 38 points, 19 rebounds, and 15 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 20 points for Desmond Bane, 20 points for Jaren Jackson Jr., and 19 for Dylan Brooks. And then come against the win against the Lakers, 29 points for Lonnie Walker, 26 for LeBron James, 20 points and 10 rebounds for Anthony Davis, and 10 points for Westbrook. 49 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 33 for Dylan Brooks and 28 for Desmond Bane. Then the win against dry throat, man. Just going to have another quick skull to clear my throat. And then we'll check the box score of the Golden State game. So Memphis ended up beating Golden State. 34 points, 14 rebounds, and 15 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 30 points coming from Desmond Bane. 30 points from Curry, 19 from Clay, and 14 from Jordan Poole. And then the win against the Mavs. 44 points, 20 rebounds, and 11 assists coming from Ja, so a triple-double. 37 for Dylan Brooks and 26 for Desmond Bane. 37 for Luka Doncic, 24 for Tim Hardaway, and 14 for Spencer Dinwiddie. And then the back-to-back wins against the Mavs. 39 points, 10 rebounds for Luka, so a double-double. 20 for Spencer Dinwiddie. 41 points, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists for Ja, so a triple-double. 22 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. And then the win against Miami. 29 points for Bam, 20 points and 10 assists for Jimmy Butler, so it's a double-double. 37 points and 18 rebounds with 8 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 35 for Desmond Bane and 18 for Jaren Jackson Jr. Then the loss to the Spurs, 23 for Keldon Johnson, 14 points and 12 rebounds for Georgie Dieng, so a double-double. 29 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 19 points for Dylan Brooks, 19 points and 10 rebounds for Jaren Jackson Jr., so a double-double. And in the win against Golden State, 39 points, 18 rebounds, and 8 assists for Ja Morant, 31 for Desmond Bane, and 22 for Dylan Brooks. 31 for Jordan Poole, 23 for Steph Curry, 17 for Klay Thompson. And then the loss against the Mavs, 60 points coming from Ja Morant with 11 rebounds and 6 assists. 17 points for Dylan Brooks. 55 points coming from Luka with 12 rebounds and 9 assists, so a double-double. And then the win against the Rockets, 40 points, 19 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 21 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. and Dylan Brooks with 17. 14 for Jalen Green, 13 for Eric Gordon. And then the loss to the Rockets, 28 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists for Ja Morant, so a double-double. 16 for Jaren Jackson Jr., 19 points for Jabari Smith Jr., KPJ with 15 points and 10 rebounds, so a double-double, and 15 points for Jalen Green. And then the win against the Hawks, 54 points, 2 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Trae Young, so a double-double. 51 points, 12 rebounds, and 17 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 17 points for Dylan Brooks. And then we move on. We'll simulate the rest of March. So we'll go from March 28th to April 2nd. So we'll simulate through. We start with a loss to the Magic, and then get a win over the Clippers, back-to-back wins over the Clippers, and then lose to Chicago to start off April. So we'll check the loss against the Magic. 27 points for Dylan Brooks, 16 for Desmond Bane, 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists for Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 28 points for Paolo Banchero, 24 points for Markelle Fultz. And then the win against the Clippers, 45 points, 20 rebounds, and 15 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 18 points for Desmond Bane and 18 points for Dylan Brooks. Kawhi Leonard with 19, Reggie Jackson with 16, John Wall with 10, and Paul George with 2 points, and he fouled out. And then the back-to-back wins against the Clippers, 56 points, 19 rebounds, and 11 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 21 for Dillon Brooks and 18 for Desmond Bane. 24 points for Paul George and 20 points for Kawhi Leonard. And then the loss to the Bulls, 31 points for Zach LaVine, 24 points for DeRozan, 12 points and 12 rebounds for Vucevic, so double-double, and 11 points for Andre Drummond, as well as Caruso. Ja Morant with 31 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. Desmond Baines with 17, and Dillon Brooks with 14. So we'll simulate April 4th to April 7th. So we take a win against Portland, a win against New Orleans, and a win against the Bucks. So I'll check the win against Portland. 44 points, 23 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja, so another triple-double. 14 points for Dillon Brooks, 12 points for Desmond Bane. Lillard with 20 points, Jeremy Grant with 17. And then the win against New Orleans, 26 for Ingram, 20 for Valanciunas, and 18 for CJ McCollum, and 14 for Zion. 55 points, 17 rebounds, and 9 assists for Ja, so double-double. Desmond Bane with 28, Dillon Brooks and Jaren Jackson Jr. with 20 apiece. And then the win against Giannis's Bucks, 24 points and 10 rebounds for Giannis, so double-double. 20 points for Middleton, 19 for Lopez. So we're 66 and 15 going into the last game. And we take a win against OKC. So being at a 99 overall, Ja Morant gets MVP at 43 points per game, 16.6 rebounds per game, and 12.1 assists per game. Jaden Ivey gets Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons gets Sixth Man of the Year. Ja Morant gets Defensive Player of the Year as well, so he gets MVP and Defensive Player. Trey Jones gets Most Improved. Taylor Jenkins gets the Coach of the Year with a record of 67 and 15. So we'll move on. All-NBA First Team is Ja Morant at a 99 overall. Luka Doncic, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Nikola Jokic. All-NBA Second Team is Trae Young, Harden, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Joel Embiid. All-NBA Third Team is LaMelo Ball, SGA, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, and Bam Adebayo. All-Defensive First Team is Ja Morant, Ben Simmons, Giannis, Draymond Green, and Anthony Davis. All-Defensive Second Team is Luka Doncic, Lonzo Ball, Jared Vanderbilt, Paul George, and Nikola Jokic. All-Rookie First Team is Jaden Ivey, Jabari Smith Jr., Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, and Keegan Murray. So we'll move on. So we've got Golden State and Phoenix and Portland and OKC fighting for the play-in. And we've got Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Miami, Toronto fighting the play-in. So we'll simulate the play-in. So Memphis end up getting the first seed. So it's going to be Memphis against Golden State. LA Lakers snatched the fourth seed with Russell Westbrook and co. New Orleans with the fifth seed. Minnesota with the third seed. Denver with the sixth seed. Dallas with the second seed. And seventh seed goes to Phoenix. And over in the East, it's Boston with the first seed. Milwaukee number 8. Cleveland fourth. Fifth seed goes to Indiana. Third seed for Atlanta. Sixth seed for Chicago. Philly against Brooklyn, and that's the second and seventh seed. So we'll start the playoffs off. So we'll go against Memphis against Golden State. So we'll simulate game 1. And Memphis take game 1. 137 to 131. 55 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. Dillon Brooks with 23. Desmond Bane with 19. Steph Curry with 39 points. Klay Thompson with 31. Jonathan Kuminga with 18, and Jordan Poole with 13, but Jonathan Kuminga fouled out. We'll move on to Game 2, and we'll quickly simulate Game 2. See if Memphis can go up 2-0 on Golden State. And yep, Memphis are up 2-0. 130 to 83, so a big win. 50 points, 23 rebounds, and 17 assists coming from Ja, so a triple-double. 20 points for Dillon Brooks, 14 points for Desmond Bane. Klay Thompson with 22, Jordan Poole with 17. Curry struggled with only 9 points. So we'll move on to Game 3, and we'll simulate Game 3 of the West Conference Final, the West first round. Far up, clear my throat. Also, we'll simulate Game 3, and Memphis are up 3-0, 133 to 108. 21 points and 10 assists coming from Curry, so a double-double. Klay Thompson with 19, Jordan Poole with 16, Wiggins with 14. 35 points for Dylan Brooks, 29 points, 19 rebounds, and 16 assists coming from Ja, so another triple-double. 25 points for Desmond Bane and 21 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. So I'll move on to Game 4 of the first round. So is Golden State going to take it to Game 5 and keep their series alive? So we'll simulate Game 4. And Memphis end up sweeping Golden State 4-0. 140 to 110. 31 for Wiggins, Klay with 18, Jordan Poole with 15. Curry fouled out for 8 points. Jordan Poole also fouled out for 15. And Wiseman fouled out for 10. 39 points, 13 rebounds, and 15 assists coming from Ja, so a triple-double. 32 points and 10 rebounds for Desmond Bane. 26 points for Dylan Brooks. So Memphis is on to the second round. So it's going to be Memphis against New Orleans, Dallas, Minnesota, Boston, Cleveland, Philly, Chicago in the second round. So we'll start the simulation between Memphis and New Orleans. So we'll simulate Game 1. And New Orleans take Game 1, 123 to 107. Ja Morant with 34 points, 19 rebounds, and 16 assists, so a triple-double. 16 points for Xavier Tillman. 27 points for CJ McCollum, 19 for Trey Murphy. So we'll move on to Game 2. We'll simulate Game 2. And Memphis come back and level the series 1-1 with a big 145 to 95 win. 61 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 24 for Dylan Brooks and 20 for Desmond Bane. 33 for CJ McCollum. 19 points and 11 rebounds for Zion, so a double-double. So we'll move on to Game 3. So we'll simulate Game 3 of the second round. And Memphis have taken the 2-1 lead. 141 to 111. 26 points for Brandon Ingram. 24 points for CJ McCollum. And 18 points for Zion Williamson. 38 points for Dylan Brooks. 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 18 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 29 points for Desmond Bane. So I move on to Game 4 of the second round. So we'll simulate Game 4. And Memphis Grizzlies are up 3-1. 119 to 104. 21 points and 11 rebounds for Zion, so a double-double. 19 for CJ McCollum. 19 for Brandon Ingram. 40 points and 21 rebounds for Ja Morant with 5 assists, so a double-double. 18 points for Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark with 15, and Dylan Brooks with 13. Just going to have a quick skull because my throat's dry. Sweet, that should have cleared my throat. So we move on to Game 5 of the second round. So we'll simulate Game 5 between Memphis and New Orleans. And Memphis end up getting the job done 4-1. 108 to 104. So it's only a 4-point win, so it's the closest New Orleans got to a second win. 41 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 20 points for Desmond Bane, 18 for Dylan Brooks. 27 points for Zion, 17 for Brandon Ingram, and 16 for CJ McCollum. So we'll simulate the round. So it's going to be Memphis against Dallas in the finals in the West, and it's going to be Boston, Philly in the finals in the East. So we'll simulate Game 1 of the finals between Memphis Grizzlies and Dallas Mavs. So here goes Game 1, and Memphis take Game 1, 142 to 105. Ja Morant just put up 70 points, 21 rebounds, and 13 assists, so a triple-double, a 70-point triple-double. 25 points for Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark with 12, 33 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists for Luka, so double-double. 27 points for Christian Wood. So we'll move on to Game 2 of the finals in the West, so we'll simulate Game 2. And the Mavs come back in Game 2 to take the 127-116 win. 39 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists for Ja Morant, so another triple-double. 20 points for Jaren Jackson Jr. and 17 points from Dylan Brooks. 39 points, 10 rebounds, and 15 assists coming from Luka, so a triple-double. 20 points and 12 rebounds coming from Christian Wood, so a double-double. So move on to Game 3 of the West Finals. So about to simulate Game 3. And Memphis have taken a 2-1 lead. Luka with 35 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists, so a triple-double. So a 125-116 win to Memphis. 24 points for Christian Wood. 49 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists coming from Ja, so a triple-double. 21 for Dylan Brooks and 21 for Jaren Jackson Jr. So move on to Game 4. We'll simulate Game 4. And the Mavs had come back in Game 4 to snatch Game 4, 134-111. So it's 2-all. 39 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Luka, so a double-double. 18 points for Christian Wood. 31 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists coming from Ja, so a double-double. 25 points for Desmond Bane. Move on to Game 5 of the West Finals. Simulate Game 5. And Dallas are up 3-2. 129-135. 43 points, 16 rebounds, and 13 assists from Ja. So another triple-double for him. Sorry, guys, still got the cough. 25 points for Dylan Brooks. 26 points from Christian Wood. 23 for Spencer Dinwiddie. And Luka fouled out for 16 points. Move on to Game 6. Simulate Game 6. And Memphis come back to level the series 3-all. 168-125 win. 42 points and 12 assists for Luka, so a double-double. 22 for Christian Wood. 61 points, 12 rebounds, and 15 assists coming from Ja, so a triple-double. 32 from Jaren Jackson Jr., 29 from Dylan Brooks, and 20 from Desmond Bane. We'll move on to Game 7. So who's it going to be, Memphis or Dallas going through to the finals? So we'll simulate Game 7. And Ja Morant ends up with Western Conference Finals MVP. Eastern Conference Finals MVP goes to Jason Tatum. So Memphis end up beating Dallas in 7. 132-121. 36 points for Dylan Brooks, 22 points, 14 rebounds, and 20 assists coming from Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 27 points and 17 assists for Luka, so a double-double. 24 for Hardaway Jr. So now we're on to the Celtics against Grizzlies in the finals. So we'll simulate Game 1 of the finals, and Grizzlies take Game 1, 120-107. 38 points, 15 rebounds, and 13 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 23 for Desmond Bane, 25 for Brogdon, 22 for Brown, and 21 for Tatum. So we'll move on to Game 2. And Celtics come back in Game 2 to level the series, 116-115. 31 points, 13 rebounds, and 14 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 24 points for Dylan Brooks, 23 points and 19 points for Jason Tatum, and 23 points for Jaylen Brown. Move on to Game 3, and Grizzlies take Game 3, 151-125. 31 for Tatum, 21 for Brown. 42 points, 19 rebounds, and 23 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. 30 points for Dylan Brooks. Move on to Game 4 of the finals, simulate Game 4. And Celtics come back in Game 4 to take it 2-all, 124-104. 31 for Tatum, Brown with 28, 41 points, 21 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja, so a triple-double. 18 for Desmond Bane. Move on to Game 5 of the NBA Finals, simulate Game 5. Grizzlies come back in Game 5, 119-115 to take the 3-2 lead. 34 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists coming from Ja, so another triple-double. 24 points for Desmond Bane, 31 points for Jaylen Brown, and 26 for Tatum. Move on to Game 6. We'll simulate Game 6. And Grizzlies have won it against the Boston Celtics in 6. Ja Morant gets Finals MVP. So Ja Morant had a 99 overall. Ended up taking Grizzlies to a 67-15 win and loss record. And ended up taking them through all the playoffs to the finals to end up beating the Celtics 4-2, 142-126 in the last game. Jaylen Brown with 26, 21 for Tatum, 51 points, 19 rebounds, and 17 assists for Ja Morant, so a triple-double. Dylan Brooks with 23, so a 99 overall on Hall. 99 overall Ja Morant with his Grizzlies team ends up making it all the way to the NBA Finals and end up winning it 4-2. As that's another video wrapped up. As for all you viewers that are watching this and enjoying it, hope you smash that like button. And for all you new viewers out there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as I'm on that road to 1,200 subs. And I appreciate every single one of you that hits that subscribe button. Anyway, that's NZ Blasian out, and we'll catch you in the next video. NZ Blasian out.